A trip down memory lane today with RacerMate II on the NES using a CompuTrainer. Firstly, thank you to Dave from Erg Cycling Fitness over in Adelaide for his loan of this entire system. They are very, very rare to get a hold of a full working system. I have one and I'm about to throw my leg over and ride one today. So this video is probably going to appeal to two very different audiences. First of all, the cycling tech head like myself, who's into all the new indoor tech, your kickers and your Neos and all the software and how it all works, but also respecting where things have come from over 20 years ago. And also the retro game collectors. A few of them have reviewed RacerMate II, but not a complete working setup. So today, I've got a complete working setup that I'm going to put all together in the Llama Lab. We'll give it a run, and I'll give my take on things as it compares to the software of today. So this is what a retro indoor training kit grid would look like. We have everything sorted here neatly on the floor. I'll take you through it all. First up, we have the CompuTrainer resistance unit itself. One of the world's first interactive trainers. I won't call it a smart trainer, it's a trainer, all fully wired. We have the massive power pack there up the back. We have the power pack for the NES. We have the data connections for the NES, composite cables, and then the head unit for the CompuTrainer itself. The cart, and the original NES. And it is multiplayer because there are 2 ports here. So flipping the NES unit over so you can see the full details there for anybody who's into this level of detail. Build and serial numbers there. It's an Australian unit, so PAL standards. And the cart. This is probably the rarest thing around. It's also upside down labeled, whatever that means. I've seen a few people on YouTube talking about these. Let's have a look at the detail on the back of that. Okay, that's all the individual parts. Now it's time to put it all together and show you how it all connects and works. Okay, here are all the parts assembled now in the Llama Lab, ready to set up for my first ride of RacerMate II. On the back of the bike, we have the resistance unit, the CompuTrainer Pro. Now it is a wired unit, so we have this plug here going into the very beefy power pack, and this plug here going up to the head unit for control. But this is the resistance unit that goes with the game. And the cable that comes up from the back of the unit goes into this here. Standard CompuTrainer head unit, but it also has the PC link on the bottom there with that cable there. Okay, that data cable goes in and around here in with a cable and over here to the controller port, which plugs into the front of the NES, so you can see a funky little connector unit there that plugs straight into the front. We are in. The cart is already loaded. Now on the back we are very old school. We've got one output there which goes into the back of an old VCR. Over here, converts it into the composite cables and into the back of the telly. No HDMI here. Okay, that's the setup overview. That's the connectivity of it all. Now it's time to turn it on and start riding. It works. And if you think modern smart trainers are hard, try center your bike using just these 2 turn knobs each side every time you want to put your bike on. It's a pain in the ass. Before starting the ride today, because this unit here is a true wired only unit, there's no way for me to record the data like I can with my wattage and things on screen. So it's a little tricky to know how well the CompuTrainer will do in regards to power accuracy. What I will record the ride with is some technology that was invented long after the CompuTrainer. Some PowerTap P2 pedals that I have. I also have the stages left, right, Gen 3 on the bike. I'll get the data today from the pedals and record that up here on the head unit. So I'll have that showing whilst I'm ride and also the watts on the screen here. Step 1's the 10-minute warm-up that is required for almost every wheel-on trainer. Let's get this done. The main load screen here of RacerMate II is very, very basic. We have program 75 loaded. Not quite sure what that means. It may be related to the program that's 1 to 99 loaded on the head unit of the CompuTrainer itself. We can select F1 to start the race that's on screen now, which has me going up against a competitor there. Or we can press F3 to select and go to menus. So we go F3 and we have a look at the options that are available here. So what we have is a program. We can race against a pacer. We can enter my weight, target heart rate zones. I don't have the heart rate monitor for this or the cadence sensor today. There is drafting on or off in the games on screen. So even 20 years ago, they had drafting there. And there's save last race, 0 to 4. Not quite sure what that's about. First of all, let's have a look at what's in program and what that's all about. Under program here, we have a few different options. We can go fixed resistance level, distance controlled, road races and courses, or custom courses. Alrighty, let's have a look at fixed resistance level. From here, it looks like we've got slope mode of the trainer itself, the controllable trainer, so it can simulate on the bike up to 9% gradient there. We can select any of those program numbers as well. Okay, that's all we have there. Train to a set resistance, and that's a 10-mile race or event that will be loaded on screen. Let's go back from that one. Next up, we have distance controlled. We'll have a look at what distance controlled is all about. Again, numbers of programs there. Right, this may be all presets because we're now seeing 30 through to 41 there, so we can go 3 mile, intermediate, advanced, 5 mile. So a few different programs there. Then we have road races or courses. This will be interesting. Okay, we can set the road race, level road, 1 mile. We can do Coors, Morgul, Bismarck. I'm not sure what that is. Orange County Triathlon, other classics. Maybe some of these from the late 80s, early 90s, and some intervals there, so it has interval mode. Let's go for we'll stay on the roller coaster for now. And checking out custom courses here, okay? To create or modify a course, first use F3 to select, then press F2. Okay, let's try that, then we'll press F2 to display the course. Okay, so from here we can program course, gradient, and also simulate wind from here. Probably a little bit too complex for what I want to do with this CompuTrainer head unit today, but very interesting to see. Even back then, you can program your own workouts and things. Very, very cool. Next up, who I race against. Pacer. Computer level 10 through to 750. I'm not quite sure what the level is. Second CompuTrainer. If we hook maybe 2 of these up. Last race, saved race, etc. Okay, I'm going to leave that to 150. I'm hoping that means watts. We'll soon find out if I'm putting out more than 150, chasing my opponent down. My weight, that's good enough. Target heart rate, that's fine. Drafting on, no worries. Save last race. I don't know what that means. So they're the options. Quite complex. The menu is a little difficult to get through, but that's what we have. Okay, we hit done on this. I think it's time to ride. Let's get into it. Keeping this one pretty brief, I'll just run through the user interface we see here on RacerMate II on the NES as I'm pedaling away. Up the top here you have the course profile shown. I've also got my position and my competitor's position up there. We're pretty much one and the same now, so it looks to be the same icon. Over here we have the grade and wind shown. There's no wind on this course, so it's currently set to 0. Down here we've got miles per hour. There's no kilometers per hour option. We have averages, distance of the total course completed so far, and also the lead, depending on where we are, or who's in the lead, with the color there. Over here we've got my weight and the watts of both riders, average, And if I had the RPM/cadence sensor, it would show here, plus also the heart rate. I don't have those two components though. So you can see up the top there, we're coming into the final climb. -2% grade for both of us. And I'm just backing off a little bit here, just toying with my opposition before unleashing a little bit of a watt bomb there. Up the final climb, competitor gets in the draft, decides that's not the place to be, can't hold the wheel, and away I go. And you can see the lead there increase all the way to the top, so I had my mate covered. Okay, stepping off the bike just as my mate finishes his ride. And look, for something that's over 20 years old, that was pretty damn impressive. The gradient changes, well, as to be expected, this CompuTrainer is an interactive smart trainer. Well, it doesn't have ANT Plus or Bluetooth, so there was no dropouts. It was wired, so that was okay. But it gave me that feeling of going up and down hills. I could feel that, no problems at all. I had to really punch up the hills to beat my mate. And one thing that really stood out was the drafting. As soon as I was in my friend here's draft zone, I could feel it really let off, and I could really just sit in there on the wheel. Again, there's no steering to it, there's no bike control or bike craft, but I could really tell that implemented the drafting not too bad at all. Other than that, it's a valid training system, and it still is today. If I had 3 or 4 custom programs in there that I configured and would get to choose those during a hard training season or session, that'd be more than sufficient for a good training session. All you really need is resistance, a good session on the bike indoors, 45 minutes to an hour, and this thing can do it. Who'd have thought 20 years ago, and it's still valid today. Awesome stuff. Alrighty, we'll leave it there. Thanks to Dave from ErgAU for letting me check out this very, very rare complete system of RacerMate with the NES and the old VCR and also the CompuTrainer. Okay, thanks for watching this one. I hope you've enjoyed this trip down virtual memory lane, which isn't too different to the virtual lanes we're riding down today.